Hey everyone, Ben back from Living Survival, and today we're going to take a look at a brand new headlamp from Lumintop. It's very high quality with a very low price, and I also got a 20% off discount code that I will post below in the description. So take advantage of it. If you like what you see, let's take a look at the Lumintop BR1. So right off the bat, I was pleased that the BR1 comes with a carrying case. This is not something that you see often with flashlights. It's a nice little carrying case that has the USB-C charging cable, and you can use to store your flashlight when you're not using it. Great for packs or just leaving it in the car. So this is the Lumintop BR1. It's a great little headlamp, especially for the price. I believe this comes in at about $26 on Amazon, and for a limited time I have a 20% off discount code, making this a very high quality and very low priced headlamp for what you get. As with most products I review, there are some pros and there are also some cons, or some things that would make this light a little bit better, but overall it's a very high quality and very useful headlamp. Headlamp itself is ABS construction, so it's very lightweight. It only weighs 3.29 ounces, and then it has a very comfortable adjustable head strap. It does angle down like most headlamps do, and it has a built-in battery that takes a type USB-C charging cable. The BR1 has a max output of 440 lumens, and it has two different modes to it. You have a spot mode and you have a flood mode, and the lighting in both modes is very uniform and very nice. Operation of the light is super simple, so for those of you that are just looking for something simple you can strap on your head and have a really nice headlamp, this may be for you, as opposed to some of the more advanced headlamps that are out that have all different sorts of buttons and you have to do all sorts of different double and triple clicks just to get to the mode that you want. It also has sensor control, which in my opinion is both a pro and a con. We'll talk about that. So again, operation is pretty straightforward. There's 5 different lighting modes, and you just hit the power button to enable those lighting modes. It's always going to default to the medium spotlight mode, so it's going to go medium spotlight, high spotlight, turbo, which is basically the flood and the spotlight together. Then it's going to go to a high flood, and then down to a low flood. There is no red light and there is no special mode, so again, super simple to operate for those of you that are looking for just that. Again, hitting the power button, that's going to bring that onto that medium spot, which is where it starts off, and that is 100 lumens. Then if you continuously click the power button, it will cycle through all the different modes. Now once you've had the light on for a few seconds, hitting the power button again will turn it off. So again, simple and straightforward. So I'll cycle through the modes quickly so you can see them. Comes on to the medium spot, the high spot, the turbo, which is both, then a high flood and a low flood, and then back to off. Super simple, super straightforward. You can toggle it to the light mode that you want and then just stop there. Now again, no memory, so once you turn the light off, it is going to default back to that medium spot. As for output, the medium spot has 100 lumens, the high spot is 330 lumens, the turbo is 440, then your high flood is 120, and your low flood is 10 lumens. So although it doesn't have a moonlight mode, it does have a very nice low mode, which will enable you to read or look at a map or, see things in and around your camp, whether it be in a tent or a hammock. So the low mode being at 10 is a pretty nice deal. One special feature this light does have is the sensor mode. So when you're in any output, we go to the turbo here, you hit the other button on the other side, that enables the sensor, and then once you wave your hand in front of it, it will turn the light off. Very useful for around camp, so you can set it to the lighting mode you want, and then you can quickly just wave your hand in front of it to turn it off and to turn it back on. Often I'm sitting around the campfire, for example, and if I hear something in the distance or I hear something rustling, I want to click my light on really quickly, but then I also want to turn it off really quickly. So although, again, this does not have a memory to it, it does memorize the output that you're on with the sensor. So if we're in our tent or hammock, for example, or vehicle, or even around the home, we could set this to maybe like the low mode here, and then we can turn on our sensor, and then you can quickly just turn the light off and turn the light back on. With the sensor, I haven't found that it times out, so I believe indefinitely once you turn that sensor mode on, it will continue to work with the sensor with the lighting mode that you're on. The sensor will turn off if you change lighting mode, so if we go here to the low again and we turn our sensor on with the other button here, now we have our sensor on, so that's going to continue to work indefinitely until we either turn the sensor off or we switch to a different lighting mode. Then that sensor has to be reactivated again. One downfall of the sensor is, of course, if you have this on your head and you get in front of an object like a flap on your tent or the bug net on your hammock or in and around a tight space in your vehicle or around your car or in your home, that sensor is going to activate, so that does get quite annoying. So it's nice that you have a physical button to turn that sensor on and off and just use it when you need it. So 5 different lighting modes on this headlamp. When you first turn it on, it's going to go to medium spot, then high spot, then turbo, which is a combo between the 2 lights. Then it's going to go to high flood and then a low flood. So we can cycle through those. We have our medium spot, our high spot, turbo, the high flood, and then the low flood. So you get quite a lot of light out of this headlamp on the turbo setting. And you can see that it's sort of a mix of the flood and spot. We can cycle through those again, the medium spot, the high spot, the turbo, and you're going to lose your spot altogether with the high flood and the low flood. I do really like the lighting levels on this light. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a memory, so once you've turned it off, it is going to go back to that medium spot. Unless you have the sensor turned on, then of course you can turn it off and it'll come right back to where you had it. Not only is this headlamp nice and bright, but I do like the mode spacing on it. You can have it on spot where you can really reach out and shoot the light quite a distance. You can have it on that flood setting where you're going to get a lot of nice light in front of you around camp, for example. Really nice mode spacing and really beautiful light too. I really like the color temperature. I believe it's 6500 Kelvin, so really nice.
So as with most gear that I review, I've got some pros and some cons. Pros being that it's very lightweight. It's got the ABS housing to it and a lightweight strap to it. So overall, it's a very lightweight headlamp for those of you that don't like the big 18650 headlamps that get heavy over time. So it's great for camping, backpacking, or just all around headlamp use. It's very high quality with a very low price. That's definitely a pro to it. It's also very bright for a headlamp at 440 lumens. It's got the spot mode and the flood mode, and the light output is very nice in my opinion. No matter if you're on the spot or the flood mode, it's just a very uniform and nice looking light. It's got Type-C charging, so if you have other devices that you're moving over to Type-C, this has it as well. So something I have listed as a pro and a con would be the sensor. It's definitely helpful if you're sitting around camp and you just want to flick the light off real quick or flick the light back on real quick without having to hit a button. The con, of course, is that it is a sensor, so when you have that sensor turned on, anything that you get close to is going to activate that sensor. So when you're getting in and out of a tent, for example, you know, the flap of the tent may set it off, or if you're just in a confined area. Otherwise, that sensor can be turned on and off, but you can manually turn the sensor on and off with the flip of a button. So that makes it nice. You can turn the sensor on when you want it. You can turn the sensor off when you don't want it. Another con maybe is that there is no direct access to any of the lighting modes other than the lighting mode that it starts with, which is the low spot. So you don't have direct access to your lowest mode, and you don't have direct access to your highest mode. And although there is no memory, again, you can use that sensor as sort of a memory function. You can get it to the light output that you want, turn the sensor on, and then it's going to turn off and turn back on at that particular mode.
And finally, there is no true moonlight mode. For those of you that like that low 1 lumen or so output, the lowest that it goes is 10 lumens, but that is quite low for a headlamp. I have other headlamps that go down to about 50, and in my opinion, that's just too bright for the lowest mode. When I'm in my tent, when I'm in my hammock, when I'm moving around the house, for example, and people are sleeping, if I'm using a headlamp, I want a nice low mode that's not going to disturb anybody, and it's still going to give me plenty of light to do what I need to do. Overall, it's a headlamp that I'm very happy with. So again, I will post a link below in the description, as well as that discount code. I believe it's valid for a few more days, so take advantage of that if you like what you see. Hope you guys enjoyed the video today, and give it a big thumbs up for me. Make sure you leave me that comment in the comment section below. Please feel free to share this video with any friends or family on your social media, and if you haven't already done so, please click that red subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified of new videos.